This another one is CLI and the API. These are the three ways to interact with the OpenShift cluster. Okay. Web UI and CLI gives very limited option as compared to API. Okay. Users can use the OpenShift cluster anywhere in the world. The minimum thing required is a network connectivity. Okay. For connecting with the cluster, we need an IP address, username, and the password. So in short, we can say we need the credentials. Then we have seen we have downloaded the OC command for the client. OC is a client-side command, so we have downloaded it. If you can see, just if you have to click the question mark over here, then you have to go in the command line tools. Then it will open this kind of interface. Just you have to install the compatible version according to your system. Okay. Then after downloading this zip file, just you have to execute, extract it, and execute it. It will just take hardly 10 seconds for it extracting it. Okay. Then the good practice to execute a program file is to extract it in the program files which is inside C drive. So we have to execute this. Just we have to copy this command or extract this command inside this directory. Okay. OC is a command line tool, so we can access this from the command prompt. If we open the command prompt in the same directory which we have extracted the file over here, just we can run and see the OC command. It will provide all the options over here. Okay. And if you want to use OC command from anywhere or the any directory, just you have to set the environmental variable. For setting environmental variable, just search for the env keyword in the status on the taskbar or the search bar, and then you have to click the path over here. Then you have to edit it. Okay. Then over here you have to just add a new path, and just you have to give the same path in which the OC command is extracted. Just you have to copy and paste it over here. And after that, you just have to restart your command prompt. Okay. And after setting the environmental variable, we can see the OC command from anywhere in the command prompt. Okay. From any of the directory, we can use this command. So then we have copied the login commands. For copying the login command, you have to click on this button over here. It will redirect us to the another page, and then just you have to display the click on the display token over here. Then it will give you this pre-created command over here. You just have to copy this. Okay. And you just have to paste it in your command prompt. Then you will be able to see that you are now logging into a cluster. Okay. The same cluster, the sandbox from the command line or through the API, you can say. Okay. Now we can run all the command from the command prompt, Windows command prompt. If we know like OC get pods, OC run pods, and all the commands we can run from our Windows or the command prompt, Windows command prompt. Okay. The most powerful way to send the request to the cluster is by writing the code, and based on that code, cluster will perform. So this is one of the kind of way to interact with this cluster. This is okay. The code is written in a program file, which is also known as manifest file, okay, or the manifest code. The manifest file is just written in a language called YML. It is just like a plain text file. Okay. So for then we have seen what is the syntax of the YML file. It is just a key value pair. Then what is the syntax to write an array? So for array, this is the syntax. You just have to give a name. Then you have to pass it as a list. Okay. So this is the syntax for passing as a list or array. Good practice in YML is to write this string in double inverted commas. Okay. If whenever you are giving some kind of string, just give it in a double inverted comma. Okay. Inside the pod, we have a container, and every container we launch from the image. So we need the image to launch the container. So in the OpenShift, we launch the pod, and pod launches the container for us. So for the pod perspective, image and name of the container is the specification. Okay. And we have to write this specification in the SPEC keyword. Inside this keyword, you have to write all the specification of the containers. Okay. In the code file or the YML file, you can say. Kind keyword in the YML file is to tell which resources we are looking for. For example, if we are looking for pod, we are looking for turn smoothing deployment or a lot more resources. So this is a keyword which will tell which kind of resources we are looking for. Okay. Inside one pod, we can learn multiple containers. So in the manifest file, we have to pass it as a list. Okay. So we can see inside the containers, this is a keyword, predefined keyword given by the OpenShift. Okay. So just we have to pass it as a list. Here we can launch multiple containers also inside the pods. Okay. API is a kind of program through which where we do not have to direct access to the program. Just we can use it. Okay. So OpenShift gives lot of pre-created program, and every program has the API or the resources like pod, deployment, etc. They put in a one API group. Okay, so we can write this and we can write the keyword API version as v1 in the YML file. Just we have to start this keyword over here. Okay. Creating a manifest file for a launching report, then we have, if you want to create from the command line with the help of notepad, we have created. Then we have given the name to our file with the extension .yml. Just don't forget to just don't give extra space after the YML. Okay, so it will add some txt over there. Okay, this is one kind of thing. Then we have created a pod, which is sources is pod. Then metadata keyword, we have seen that what is the name. Then specification that we want to launch the pod, what will be the container name inside, which will be run inside the pod. Then the image. Okay, so this is a simple file to create a pod. Then launching a pod from the manifest file, then we have launch. So if you want to create a pod, then the OpenShift command, just you have to tell OC create. Okay, then -f to give and the file name in which we have to pass it. I will explain. Okay, so we can see this OC create command. We have created a pod with the help of OC get pod. We can see our pod is up and running. Okay, if we describe the pod, we can see one container is running inside it. Okay, so we can see it is using an image called Tomcat. The same image we have used over here. Okay. Moving forward, if we run the same code file again, it will fail because same pod name we cannot give again. Okay. So if we try to run the file again, it will show some kind of already exists. Okay. Just for this, you have to just change the name of your pod over there. Okay, so the inside the metadata name you have to change to 2, then we can launch the pod another. Okay. If you want to create the another pod from this image. Okay. If you do not give the proper indentation in the YML file, it will throw an error, passing kind of error. Okay, so whenever you see this kind of error, just check the YML file. There might be some kind of mistake in the indentation. Okay, so whenever we create any resources, good practices is to always give the resource a unique label. Okay, what is label? Label is just kind of extra information about the resources. Okay, so if you have hundreds of pod running in the production environment or any kind of environment, then label will help us to search the pod. Okay, this is one of the use case why we need labels over here. Then for setting the labels in the manifest file, we have same. We have to the keyword is labels, and just we have to pass the key value fields over here. Okay, whatever the label name, whatever the key and the value we have to give over here inside the labels. Then we have launched the pod with the label the same way. OC create command -f to give and the file name. Okay, then we have seen OC get pods over here. We can see our pod is launched. Okay, then -show labels is a keyword in the OC get command, which will show all the labels we have. Okay, so if we run OC get pods -show labels, it will show all the labels which will be in, which we have given to the pod. Okay, so previously we have not given any label to this pod, my pod 1. In the my pod 2 we have given some labels, so it is visible from here. Okay, then similarly we have launched the third pod. We have changed some labels over here. Then fourth pod, we have also changed some labels over here. Okay, then we have a selectors over here now. We can use label for searching the pod. Okay, it is also called selectors. For this we have a ---- selector keywords. Okay, in the OC get pods command. For example, if you want to check how many ports are in the data center India, then you have to use the equality operator over here. Then OC get port, what are the selectors I was searching for data center in India, then I want to see all the labels, that is ---- show labels. So it will show all the ports which will be inside the data center India. You can see over here. Similarly, we have a not equal to keywords or the operators, we can say. Okay. Then instead of using ---- selector, we can use -l option, which works the same. Working of both the keywords are the same. Okay. So that's it, guys. If you have any if you have any queries, you can ask it in the chat box. Guys, if you have any queries, you can ask me over here. Guys, I cannot see your queries. If you have, you can ask me over here. Umesh, can you tell the topic which you did not understand or which you want me to explain it again? See, Umesh, this was not the today's topic. It was a revision of previous session. Chanchal, after the deployment class, you will understand all the detailed thing about the which resources are being created over there. What I'll tell you, just wait for 2 3 classes for this. You will understand in more depth. You're welcome, Chanchal. I hope guys everybody has tried to connect the sandbox or the OpenShift cluster with through the API the same way which we have done in the previous class. Oh, one more thing, guys. I want to tell you, I was getting these queries a lot. So, whenever we set the path, okay. So after setting the path over here, just relaunch the command prompt which you have. Okay. Just close the previous session and launch a new command prompt. Then only you will be able to see that OC command will work. Just you have to close the previous sessions of the command prompt. Then you have to launch new. Okay, guys, Sir is here. Over to you, Vimas.
Hey guys, welcome back, and let's continue with the next part. So last class, guys, we have talked about how we can interact with the OpenShift cluster using YAML code. Okay, so let's continue with this discussion over there. In the last class, also we have talked about sorry, we talk about how to launch the pod with the help of YAML. Okay, so before we go ahead, today's we have going to discuss very important topic in the OpenShift, right? So before we go ahead with this topic, I want to give you some more introduction about sorry, what about this YAML code. Okay, so it is something like this. You know one thing, if you talk about OpenShift, Red Hat OpenShift Container Platform, it is just one more program. Sorry. working on the top of Kubernetes that you guys know we have discussed multiple times. And that is a reason OpenShift is also known as Kubernetes management platform. Okay. And it also means whatever facilities we have in the Kubernetes, everything is available on the OpenShift. Okay. And one of the facility in the Kubernetes is that we have a cluster where we have a one manager or the controller node sometime and multiple slave node, worker node, or the compute node. Okay, that's what you know. And all these guys work together. This is master-slave relationship we have, become a cluster, and they will help us to manage the entire container lifecycle. Okay. One more thing I want to add here is, okay, if we talk about as a user perspective, maybe you can use the word client, but we are the user who is going to use this cluster. Which cluster? Kubernetes. And when I say Kubernetes, it is also known as OpenShift cluster. Okay. So whenever I try to access this cluster, for what? To use this cluster. And why I want to use this cluster? Because this cluster is a container cluster. I want to manage my container. One of the things I want to manage is I want to deploy my container, run my container. Okay. So you have to contact to Kubernetes or the OpenShift cluster. The point is to whom we coordinate or to whom we connect, because we have multiple computers here. This A is a different computer, B, C, D is all our independent computer or the instances. Everybody has their own IP addresses. So user, okay, or the IT admins or the Kubernetes or the OpenShift admin or the DevOps engineers, whoever use this cluster, they always contact to the manager of the computer or the cluster. Okay, manager means master computer, also known as controller computer or controller node. So client always contact to the IP address. Let's say IP of this guy is 100 of the controller node or the master node or the manager node. This is one thing. Second thing is, I told you if A is a master node or the manager node or the control node, multiple programs runs here. Every program has their own individual duty. So if you talk about this node, this A node that have a IP 100, okay, this node is running with multiple sub program. One of the program known as scheduler program is come from Kubernetes world, so they are known as kube schedulers. Also the part of OpenShift also. What they do, so whenever the client or user is requested that I want to launch the pod, okay, so this program decide where to schedule it. It means which compute node to launch it. You launch on B computer or C and D. This planning is done by this program. It's called kube scheduler or scheduler program. This is one of the sub program in this entire computer node or master node. There's one more program. Okay. There's called replica or replication controller. What is this? This is the topic for today's class. So in some minute, I will talk about this topic. But there's one program running on the computer A, one more program running computer A, they have a different responsibility. What is this? We'll see. It's a very important topic. We'll see in a minute. But there's one more program that's running on the computer number A. This is called API program or Kube API. Kube is Kubernetes. Kube API program. Okay, or Kube API services, I can say. So this also running on the computer number A. Okay, and what is the use of this program? This is the program who is helping us to connect to the OpenShift or the Kubernetes. Is if we are the user, technically we always connect to some IP address, and every IP we always connect to some program. The program on which we connect are known as API programs or Kube API program or API server. If this API program is not there, the third program I'm talking about here is not there, it's stopped. Okay, so user won't able to interact with the OpenShift or the Kubernetes cluster. So we always connect to this, right? It means I told you guys, when user login, they need the IP address, they need the username, they need the password to login. Okay, but the IP address they need of the computer where the API program is running, that mostly work on the manager computer. And they give the username password, or maybe sometimes password instead of password, they give a token to this program. And this is the program who help, they're not the one, but they help them to authenticate, to check the login and password and ask them to come in and do the thing, whatever we want to do. Or in the future after login, okay, whatever you requested, let's say I want to launch the pod, I want to launch the deployment. Okay, all the requests from the user always go to Kube API program. They are the one who take the request. Okay, so this is the responsibility of this program. If this program is not there, we won't able to send any further request to get the things, to delete the resources, and many more things. Whatever we have done till date is go to the Kube API. Now it does not matter how you send the request. Okay, but user will always send the request to the Kube API or API server program. Okay, but one more thing I want to tell. Okay, they only understand the request in a language called YAML. This is the only way they understand the request. Okay, it means till date, whatever you have done in the OpenShift or the Kubernetes with the help of web UI, web portal. You just go to web portal, this one I'm talking about, OpenShift sandbox. You go to this web portal. Whatever you use your mouse, click mouse and all things. Okay, your graphical thing, whatever you've done here, okay, over here, it internally converted into YAML code automatically. And this YAML code is the one who go to API server as a request. Or maybe whatever you have done from the CLI, command line interface, OC get pod, OC create deployment. They are just a command. Internally, those command will convert into YAML code automatically, and they go as a request to this program. As a program. Okay, 1 minute, guys. Let me log in. As a program. Okay, and that is a reason, if you know this YAML code, we can also interact with our cluster by also writing our own personal YAML code and send the request here directly, because we know the YAML code. We don't have to need somebody who will convert the code into web UI or CLI into YAML. We can directly create a YAML code and send the request directly to the Kube API. That's what we are discussing and done my last classes. So a point here is, sorry, the point here is, whatever we have done till now, I will do either with CLI or web UI. Behind the scene, they always automatically contain YAML code only, and YAML code is the one who go as a request to your master computer, to the program called Kube API. They only understand the YAML code. They process the YAML code, and accordingly they behave the things. Means they launch the pod, get the pod, describe the pod, delete the pod, launch the deployment. Whatever you do, we will do. They always take in the YAML perspective. So what I'm trying to tell you here is, finally, in this master computer or the manager computer, there's a multiple program running. Every program has their own personal individual responsibility. Right now, we are into the OpenShift training. According to the program, we don't have to discuss till in that level of deep about different programs that we will be doing here. we have to use this kind of graphical look and feel or command line to work on OpenShift. But I'm just giving this extra information to you. I also give you more in deep. But if you want to understand every detailed services, what is happening, because inside the OpenShift Kubernetes is there. So more you know about the Kubernetes, more you have a deep understanding about the OpenShift at that internal level. So anybody who, mostly those one who are always very curious to know about the internals of some tools and platform, to know about what is happening, and that context, in that context you can learn just a Kubernetes. One of the great program to learn the Kubernetes called CKA is a global training admin perspective, or CKAD is a global training for developer perspective Kubernetes. You can learn. I also delivered some time back my classes on this training, and we have now we are providing these classes and recorded classes. So those who are interested to know the global level training on Kubernetes, CKAD, they can learn. This is a great learning, and you will see lots more internal discussion about Kubernetes there with a lot of demos and use cases. Okay, so this program we have open for the open market now as a self-paced program. You guys can learn from there if you want. Okay, but as you progress in this training, also I keep on talking about much more thing about something about Kubernetes, whatever we have in the program, plus some more extra details. But this training is about OpenShift, right? So now onward, guys, what I'm going to tell you, okay, we will invest most of the time directly on writing the code, then sometime also CLI and Web UI also. But more you know about the code, more customization you can do in your management of the Kubernetes cluster, or I can say the OpenShift cluster. Okay, by chance, if I use the terms Kubernetes, mostly in this training, I mean to say OpenShift, right? So don't be confused with this term. Okay, so let's continue what we have done, right? So this is our cluster running. Now, it does not matter this cluster running anywhere in the world. You just need to know the IP address of the master node, username, and the password. Okay. Plus, in this IP address, you should know where this program is running. And you guys know, in the networking world, every program has their own port number. So you should know the port number of this service. That's what you need to know. If you have this 4 information, then from your side as IT admin or the management guys of the Kubernetes OpenShift, they can connect and do the further things. That's what you see in the command line also, right? So when you connect on the command line, command line, that's what they will show you. So this is what the command I showed in my last class, right? So in the command line, if you see, this is the command we have, right? So in this command, what you see, I'm login from the command line, login. So this is the token. Token is most like a username password. So this token mostly also not username password. We also have some separate username password we can create, how we'll see in the future. But right now token is more like username password. We need the IP address. So this is the IP address of what? Of our Kubernetes master node. And we need a port of this program. So 6443 is a port number for which program? There's a multi-program running, right? Multi-program running, but we are looking for the port number of Kube API program. So 6443 is here the port number. Okay, so if you know all those things, copy this command. Just go to any of the computer where you have the OC command available. In my case, available. Okay, then you guys can run this command there. Okay. Only you need a connectivity because I have a local connectivity from the internet. Okay, so I can log in. Okay, And now, last time if you run the OC version command, they say you're not logged into server. If you run the OC version command again, they will tell you some data about the server, that your server is running with OpenShift with this version of the OpenShift with Intel Kubernetes Engine. This one. Okay. Now, if you're on the OC command, as you know, I see in the last class already, I have logged in with this account. So Intel token is given by this OpenShift, and this is the username. I log in, same they're showing me here. Okay. So okay, this is a quick information about some extra information, what is happening inside the cluster, some extra component information I given to you. Okay. As we progress, we'll go more deep into this discussion. Okay, as much as we require in the OpenShift. Okay. And more, there's not only not three, there's more services we have. As we progress, as we need, I keep on adding those services name. So today, today we are going to discuss about this service. It's very, very interesting, important service, replication controller. Okay. So what is a replication controller as a service? What it will do for you? Okay. So, so what this service will do for you? So let me explain to you. Okay. One facility, guys, I told you as a demo, but we'll go in more deep today. Okay. Facility is, let's say you have the image, this whole container or the Docker image. From this image, you launch a container. But in the Kubernetes or OpenShift world, okay, this container always be wrapped inside a box that's called pod. Some of the information you know till date. So there's a pod. Okay. You can launch the pod directly with OC run command. Okay, let me very quickly launch the pod here. So OC get pods. I don't have any pod here. Maybe I have, let me check. So by chance one pod is running. But let me run more pod. OC get pod, let's say my pod 1 from the image, let's say Tomcat. So one pod launch, pretty straightforward, right? Launch. You run OC run command, just CLI, or you might done something on web UI. Okay. So wherever you do, behind the scene, every communication between you as a user to the OpenShift as you requested is happening in the YAML. How I know? So for this, what can I do? I can say OC get pod. I have one pod called my pod 1. This pod, do you have this pod? Yes, they say, oh, you this pod details. But if you run this OC pod 2, this is not there, they give you fail. So this also works sometimes is helpful. If you want to know this pod available or not, you can use the get command. If they're available, then they show the list. Otherwise, they say not available. But in the same get command, okay, we can get one more thing, is that this requested is given by us. And this request is be sent to the OpenShift cluster. Okay, and we know this request is sent to the OpenShift cluster in the YAML format. So can you show me the output of YAML, how the YAML code look like? So with any get command, and you guys know pod is a resource type, this is resource name. So any resource type, resource name, if you want to know how and what kind of YAML code goes behind the scene. Okay, so you can use this option O, then YAML. Okay, so now we can see here, they will print out the entire YAML code. So they're retrieving the entire YAML code from the cluster or this manager. Okay, and just showing you YAML code anywhere. Here, this entire YAML code they printed. Okay, and there's a lot more information we have here. It is not given by us. Okay, so they will retrieve some default information, but some information we know, guys. For example, if you remember in my last class, okay, this is what we write in my code. If I very quickly show you the code what we have created in the last class, right? So in document, in OpenShift, I don't know what name we're given. In document is Red Hat OpenShift. So guys, do you know the folder name I created? I maybe OpenShift or RHOCP. Yeah. Okay. So this is a code we created, right, in my last class. And in this code, if you try to compare, this is what exactly right? API version, same thing is there. Kind pod metadata, kind pod metadata. Okay. And if you go down, okay, level run something like this. Level we give more. And the name of the pod. Pod. So this is exactly same code, right? Something come extra because there's some default value. If you don't give it, they will add, or there's some value that is generated dynamically. Means what IP address they give to this guy, so they update here. Okay. Plus, if you go down also spec, container, image, name, this is what we write here. But my point here is this is very great code to learn some more new thing. But this value we haven't write in my code. It's come up automatically. Even though I run this command with the run command, but even though if you run this code also, some value will come up. Some value of security come up. So this is what they're trying to tell you. This is the default settings OpenShift give to you. What security to add for you, what kind of limit they give you in the resources, means how much RAM and CPU you can use. Okay, so they show you. My point here is this is a good document we have here by this command OYML. Okay, so in the future, if you want to create an YML code, rather than you can memorize this keyword or go and see document here and there on the internet, just use this command. Which command? This command. They give the actual YML document or code stored in this current version of the OpenShift. Okay, copy this code, and do some changes to whatever you want to do. Make this code this way, the way you want to manage your plan in the OpenShift, and run it. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. But in this training, we're going to learn about this topic, right? And the future classes, those who are in 280 training, admin track, will talk about constraint and limits, quotas, okay, securities, and many more things. Okay, so we'll discuss about those points. My point here is, by this command, writing the code YML is so simple. Without memorizing the syntax, without memorizing this flow of the code, this is a great tool to see what is happening. Plus, it also help us, the developer of this code, to write the code very, very quickly. Copy paste and do some changes and do it. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So there's one point. Now I'll come back to this point again. Okay, now this pod is running. So this pod is running in the OpenShift cluster and some of the node. Some of the node they're running. Where the running is planned by scheduler. So this duty of this guy is done. They launch somewhere. Okay. For example, if you're in the OC get pod help command, they give you a lot of options. Okay. For example, there's option called selector. Last time I talked about the selector concept to you, or O output. This is what we use here. You want to see the output in JSON also, they can show you, but I use YML as an example here right now. Okay, but there's some more options we have. Okay, or so one more option I want to show you. 1 minute. Okay, all. Okay, I'll show you that option what I'm talking about in some minute. Okay, so 1 minute. I think this is a good example over here. Wide option. Let me get this option right. So here, if I use wide option, O means output, and show me the output in wide format. Okay. Here, you know what they're talking about. O wide, O is output. And here they give you some more options. Okay. What options they give you with this O wide option? They give you this port is running inside the container, and the container always has the IP address. So this is the IP address of the port or the container. Okay, but this container running in one of the node. Okay, it's called worker or the compute node, and this is the IP address or the host node. So in this cluster, okay, whichever the node this container port launched, this is what they're talking about. Maybe next port they launch in a different container, also a different node. Okay, so for example, if I launch one more port here with OC get or OC run command, or maybe I can run this code what I created in my last class, same thing. Let me run this code what I ran in my last class. So OC, if you have the code, you can use create command to run this code. Okay, so OC get port, sorry, OC get ports, and they launch here. But where this port launch, I can say O wide. They tell us that it. Okay. In this case, if you notice, this port launch in this company with different host name. Most of this host name may be 219, maybe. This is just a host name. And this port is launched in 251 host name. Okay. So by chance both the port launch in different computer, maybe they might launch in one also, but it is due to a scheduler. They decide by multiple conditions where they want to launch. But in this case, they launch a different computer. By the way, guys, right now this cluster is not created by us. We are using Sandbox, and Sandbox has some pre-created cluster. So right now we don't know in this cluster how many master we have, because we might have more master also. Why we might discuss in the future, and how many worker node we have, because this cluster not created by us. Okay, so we don't know, but they might have 2 or 3 and more worker nodes. Worker nodes over there. Even though there's a command to see, we can see technically the command called OC get nodes command, by which we can see in this cluster where we connected as a client or the user, how many nodes they have. This command we can use, but this command won't run here. To run this command, we need a clustered admin level access. But right now I log into this token, this token in the Sandbox come with limited permissions. By this user, I can't see much about this cluster or intel about the cluster. Okay, but when we create our own cluster, or where we go to the Red Hat cluster, means given by Red Hat labs, to those who are in 280, 180, 288 training, they have the entire cluster access as admin. Then if you run the command there, you can see in this cluster, 1 master, 3 node or 4 node. These are the IP addresses they show you there. Okay, we don't need right now. As we need in the future, I'll show you how we can run these kind of command. But I'm trying to tell you right now, this cluster is pre-given by us to us by the Sandbox platform. And this platform is right now more than enough to do lots more things in the OpenShift. Whenever you want to have a cluster level access, in my upcoming advanced discussion we need, that time we will move to either we create our own clusters, or those who have the Red Hat labs, they can use their cluster, whatever they given to you as admin access. But we don't need right now. Okay, but what we need, main topic today is, just want to explain you, this port is launched in different node. It is done by the scheduler program. And that's why I show you also, if you run the OC describe command, OC describe port, let's say my port 5. This one. we launch here 251. So we run the describe, you can see there's one event happened and some scheduler or kube scheduler assigned this computer. Okay, and they're the one who do the thing for us. So this is, guys, some information I'm giving to you. This is not the main topic for today's class. Today we are going to discuss about this topic. Okay, now right now this particular pod, okay, is not managed by any controller. You don't see any word controller here, something like this. Normally you see sometime, but there is no word called controllers. Okay, so what I'm talking about, this pod is not managed by any controller. What I mean by this? What I mean by this? If you run OC get ports command, by chance, due to any reason, if this port got deleted, my port 105, both the ports, one launch with the command line tool, one launch with this YAML code, both are same but. Okay, if you delete this port, let's say 1, it deleted. Nobody is there who's watching to this port. Sorry, my is a resource name, right? Nobody is watching this port. It means if you delete, it's gone forever. Clear, deleted. Nobody is watching this, means nobody is controlling this. If this code fail or deleted, nobody will restart or recreate this. Okay, why? Because we launch port as a row, only a row port, only port. See here, only the kind is port. But if you want your port to be watched, or if port fail or something happen, they recreated. So we need somebody control it. We need some controller will control this. And for this, we need a controller called replication controller. Okay. It is not done by the deployment controller. So we have guys seen some of the example deployment control till date. Deployment controller look like they are controlling a port, but they are not. It look like. What I'm talking about, I'll explain in more detail in my next topic of deployment. Okay, it is not the duty of deployment. Which duty? To watch the port and control the port. So what deployment will do, we'll discuss in more detail. Because I thought whatever I demo, I show you the deployment, OC create deployment. And the demo look like they're controlling the port, something failed, then they recreate. But it is not actual duty of the deployment. What they do, we'll see. Okay, so main duty of controlling the port is the duty of a replication controller. So replication controller is again one kind of program running in your master computer, this one. Okay, what they do, we ask this program or the subservice that you have to control the port. So there's one port running. Okay, so this port is running. So what we want from you, if this port deleted or terminated or failed, so you are a one kind of program. Let me use the word called RC here. Okay, to keep on watching this port. If this port deleted somehow, failed somehow, or maybe backend node or host node got completely failed. Now this is your duty to recreate this port in the other node or recreate this port again, same node, whatever you can do. This is your duty. So something fail happen. So over of this failings of fail over the duty of the replication controller. That's what they do for you. Okay, so if you want this facility that in your cluster your port always up, if something failed, they keep on running. Okay, then you have to use this service. By chance, guys, in the older version of, because again, this service come from Kubernetes, an older version of Kubernetes, this service was known as a replication controller, but they have some kind of a limitation. Okay. And because of the limitation, we changed a service name and come up with a new service name. Okay. This is called replica set. So now in the new version of Kubernetes, same thing in new version of OpenShift, we don't use replication controller service. We use a replica set. What are those limitations? Why we don't want to use this? Again, not the plan of this class, but anybody who go for CKA or CKAD level of training purely on Kubernetes, there we discuss about this demo, then understand the limitations, then we move to this part, again, see how this will help you. But we are not going to discuss this in this training. What I'm going to discuss, okay, this facility is actually done by a program and the component name called replica set. And this component we have here actually. So if you run the OC get replica set is one component name here. We have some replica set here. It's not given by us, it's given by the sandbox, but we can create ourselves. Okay. So whenever you heard the term replica controller, now all the new version of Kubernetes and the OpenShift, we don't use replica controller or replica controller, we use replica set. Is a new name that has some extra benefits. Okay, so this is one point. Now what's the plan is? My plan is if this pod goes down, okay, if the pod goes down, there's somebody who control this. For example, right now there's nobody's controlling. If again delete this pod, okay, delete it. I say nobody's there to look and restart this. I don't want. I want if they delete, automatically they start. Who will do for me? Replica set. Okay. So how a replica set do this thing for me? Okay. I'll tell you in a minute. But there's one more thing replica set can do for you. Okay. What a replica set or the replication controller can do for you. We can tell one more requirement to a replica set or the replication controller is that I want this pod is running. Okay, maybe we'll let a database pod or web server pod running inside this container. Okay, now what I want maybe this is a web server. Okay, there's a pod running the container with the program, let's say web program. Inside this pod, container running with the web program. So like I can say there's a web pod. And I told you in my last class, maybe every web server resources all together normally can handle limited requests. Maybe let's say 100 requests, for example. Maximum connection, they can handle 100 connections. And suddenly connection increase. I want one more same pod, same copy, same container of the web server. Why? So two web server running. So this can handle 100 requests, this can handle 100 requests. Okay, if a more customer come up, we can launch one more pod. So the same copy or same web server, same application, same code, everything same. So they can handle more. So as the traffic increase and that context, we keep on adding same, we get one more pod, we can cover one more pod, and so on. This concept of scaling, or horizontal scaling that you guys know. And adding more pod, more VMs, more computers, normally known as scale out. So if you want to perform the scale out, then again replication set will help for you, or replication controller can do for you. Okay, so what we have to tell the replica set is how many pod you want at one point in time. So there's one concept called scale keyword here. See this, tell them 3. So this information you give to the replica set. Now, this is the duty of replica set to make sure if you are running with one, the order will launch two more. Total three copy they run. They scale to till three. Okay, this is duty. By chance, due to any of the reason, if somebody failed, maybe this port running on node, let's say slave number one or slave number one failed. So this is duty of replica set to keep on watching. The two is running. So they say my current state is what? Two because one fail. Okay, let's say this is fail. But what if we ask, what is somebody asked to me who is managing me as a user or the manager? They ask me the desired, it's called desired state. They ask me to have three, but there's two running. It means we are lack of one. So this is duty of replica set to be sure whatever desired, they make it same. We're looking for three, is two running, so they launch one more for you. Where somewhere, maybe this, let's say this is running a node one fail. On the worker node, they will launch same copy, let's say do the name D, same copy over same web server. Okay, on other node maybe. Okay, so the duty of the replica set is to keep on monitoring, plus also they help us to scale also. And make sure the scale we stick with this scale. If you want three, then if two is running, they add one more. Or in the future, we think you need more ports, just come here, change this number. This number is like instructions. Which is scale is a property or a keyword. Now we need 5. Just give this information to this guy, and the remaining part will be automated for us. Now 3 is running. Okay. So current state is 3 is running, but you ask them to change this desired 5. So then they make sure they add 2 more ports somewhere in some of the other node or worker node or in maybe same worker nodes. They do for you. And because same copy we're launching, because port number A is web server port from one image, same image we launch port number C and D. And if you have multiple copy of same thing, that is also known as replica, actually. Replica. Okay, replica. And that is this concept is known as replication controller or the replica set, because the set of replicas we have. Adding more is called scaling, but because same copy they have, this reason they are known as replicas. So we can say we need 5 replica, or we need 5 scale, or 5 replica, same thing. This is same thing. This is some term I'm giving to you. Okay, so replica set, also known as replication controller. Replica set is a new name. They have some extra benefits. Okay, but the main duty of replica set is they help us to create a replicas or scale the things. Or if 5 is running, let's say you don't need 5 reports now. Okay, just tell them, just cut down to 2 back. Because less customers coming. So remove this, only keep on with 2. Okay. So then this concept is called scale in. So very quickly I just change the number and they will remove something for you. And they scale in. Okay. That they would do for you. So scale out scaling is very, very simple in this world. Okay. And because of this nature, the by default nature of replica set, so replica controller is they keep on watching. Because they're watching, that's only they come to know there's something down or not. So if they're down, because they're watching, so they will launch one more for you. But the primary use of the replica set or the replication controller is it help us to create a multiple replica, especially in the world need multiple copy. Maybe we have because you have more traffic and more resources coming up, maybe consumed. Okay, and because of this nature, automatic nature that come up is the watching. Watching means controlling. Means if something fails, or will launch a new. So this is the guys quick information. But how they do, I'll show you. so to demonstrate this, okay, right now, if you see how many ports we have no ports. This port is run by the sandbox. I told you multiple times. So it's not launched by us. So let's say there's no port. and how much replica sets we have. Okay, again, this is created by Sandbox internally, but we haven't created, so let's say we have no replica set. Replica set is a big name here. They have one alias also. We can use RS also. So this name has one more nickname called alias RS. So I'm going to use RS instead of replica set now onwards. Okay, so there's no replica set. So what I'm looking for, we have this pod. We have this pod. Okay, and let me give a pod name, my pod one, just a name. Okay, in this pod, we are launching a container of this name or from this image. And in this pod, we give some levels. And the level is very important. I told you in my last class. Today, you will realize the value of this level. So we have this level. Okay. So let me launch a pod first. OC create -f, -f, and the file name is first pod. So this pod created. And you can use the -1. So labels, these are the labels there. But who is controlling this pod? Sorry. Who is controlling this pod? Nobody right now. Why? Because we don't have any replica set with us. If you want to control this, we have to create a replica set. But what to tell to the replica set? Okay. So let me write here. We tell the replica set is, okay, that we are running a pod with this name. And pod also have IP address with this IP-less IP 1.2.3.4. And we ask my replica set. Okay, the pod that has this IP address or this name, you have to watch. If they fail, they recreate. That's the plan. But the challenge is, okay, watching somebody with the IP address. So it's not a good plan or good way to watch. When I say watch, means just have a look on it or just keep on have an eye on it. It's called control. Okay, why? Because this pod running a container, and next time the container run, the IP might change. Okay, so if you're asking someone, I am watching you, but IP change, next time they'll relaunch, but IP change. Okay, so this is harder to manage or harder to to watch. So watching somebody with the help of IP is not the right way. Okay, and watching somebody with a name, because if you see in the OpenShift world or the Kubernetes world, right now we are launching this pod, one pod. But when you go for replica, more pod come up. But every name you give unique. So next time if you add more, some random name added in the last. So this pod maybe in the last afterwards 1.123.145, some random name come up. So every name of the pod will be different. So what I'm talking about, duty of replica set is to watch. Okay, but how we can watch? We can't watch with the help of IP address. We can't watch with the help of name, because they keep on changing. Every time they come randomly. Or random thing we can't watch. We need some information that is always fixed. Here the rule of labels gonna come in play. Okay, what I mean by this? So I'll tell my replica set, do one thing. Okay, we have some pod, does not matter whatever their IP is. Does not matter. Whatever their name would be, does not matter. But the labels is we hard coded. See here, we hard coded. Okay, is always fixed and we plan properly. This port we are going to launch right now. Our name is fixed, but in the future, if more port we create scale, the name will be randomly add. After this is a extension over here. I show you when we add more. It can be different. But if you launch one port, whatever IP they have, you will launch 100 replica of it, whatever the name would be, but the level would be same. It won't change, hard coded. And because we plan the level, this port is for a web server, for data center India, I have my environment production, my team A, and this is a unique level. No other port has the same level. Okay, guys, this plan also you have to do properly. Whatever levels you give, it should be unique. Otherwise, thing won't work. Okay, so level is what I use of level. I told you in my last class, help you in searching, but it have more benefit. In today's class, you will see it. Okay, but any levels you give, 2, 3, or 4, it should be unique. So if you want to identify this port uniquely, these combinations will help me to identify this port uniquely. No other port will have this levels. Somebody might also have DC India app web, but they may be environment will be Devo. Okay, so every port of same type means one port can have multiple replica also. This one type should be identified by levels. So this level will uniquely identify this set or similar set of ports. What I mean by this, when I show the demo, you come to know. Okay, a point here is, okay, we'll tell my replica set that we are having the port that has this level. Now your duty is to keep on watching these levels or keep on searching these levels. Okay, or sometimes also keep on matching. Let me write here. Keep on matching your search. And guys, I told you in the last class, search is also on a select here. Your selector on these levels. Okay, and if you found this level is not there, it means that port, whatever name would be, does not matter, IP would be, does not matter, goes down. Now it is your duty, if they goes down, to launch one copy automatically. Launch one more port. Next time IP would be anything, does not matter. Port name would be anything, it does not matter. Okay, but launch the port again with the same level. And obviously this, if port launch, automate the port. Inside the port, we have a container. Port is not important for us, application is important. But this application or the container we manage with the help of this port. Port launch, this is also well launched. You do. So technically, how replica set is doing and watching and selecting, they're selecting with the help of, again, with the help of levels, these levels. Okay, but ultimate goal is if some port goes down, okay, your replica set will relaunch it. But how they know how they know they goes down? They keep on searching or selecting, okay, or matching on the selector with the help of levels. Okay, this is how they do it. So let me write a replica set. Creating the replica set, there is no way available in the graphics. There's no way available here. Okay, there's no buttons to create the replica set. Okay, see here, even though there's no name also available here. Okay, but it is working behind the scene. Sometimes somewhere in the graphic you might see the name replica set, replica controller, but there's no. Even though if you go to command line also, OC get or create command, something like this. Do you any way to create a replica set or the replication controller, anything? You don't find any command here. Because I told you in my last class, you can't do everything from the command line. But to do everything, we have a YAML code available. With the YAML code, we can do it. Okay, so there's also one reason why you should be good in the YAML code. So let me show you how to do this, right? So I'm going to write a new code today. Process will be same. Forward. I'm going to write a new code. Where's my terminal? Here. Notepad. I'm creating a YAML code. Let me give a name called first replica set.yaml. So what's the plan? All right, on the plan is we want to create a replica set. This is my plan. And we ask the replica set to keep on monitor my pod. Isko keep on watching. Okay, watching means searching. So keep on selecting. Let me use the word searching here. My pod. Okay, and what I want from you, I want from you. This is the pod running here. So it's one copy running. Okay, or one replica running. I want you keep on running with one copy always. So I want the total number of replica I want is always 1. This is what I'm looking for you right now. If there is no 1, means they remove means 0, relaunch one more time. So I want one copy always run. This is what the responsive I'm giving to you. But how you search this pod? So don't search this pod wide with a name or with the IP address, because if they fail again, next time they recreate, IP will change. If you multiple copy, then every copy a different name come up. So don't watch or search with the help of name of the pod. Search with the help of labels. I can say match with the help of labels. Okay, so every pod has their own labels we have given at the time of planning. Okay, match with the help of these labels. Sorry. Okay, if you don't find any pod that has this level, all this level available. I told you in the comma guys like AND operator in my last class. So this and this and this, if these all the things named together is not available in any pod, it means they're down. So relaunch one more time, one more support for this. Okay, so that's what we do. So guys, this information we collected, right? Now we have to convert this information into YAML code. How to convert? Everything that your YAML code will do have something called kind. What kind of Kubernetes or OpenShift resource you want to manage? You want to manage pod resource type or replica set resource type. So the kind is replica set. And here normally guys kind name always start with capital letter and S here also capital letter. Okay. Every kind we have to give a name. For example, right now, if you see OCRS, every kind has a name. So some name we have to give. Okay. So any kind, if you give the name, that is a metadata about this kind. And name of this replica set, let's say web replica set. Or let's say my web replica set. This is what the name I would like to give to my replica set. Okay. And about the replica set, these are the information about it. This is the specification about it. So we give the specification. Same thing we did here in the pod, right? Kind, name, specification. We are giving here. And what specification we give here? So specification would be replica. I want replica to be 1. Here the spelling is replicas actually. I need one copy of it. Okay. But before one copy, we keep on searching. I told you guys searching is not a word here. Instead of searching, we use the word selector. So my selector for searching is based upon my level. Okay, I match with the level. So the keyword here is match levels. And what are the levels we have? These are the levels we have. And guys, this is a YML code. So properly the colon here. Spec is a main block. So this is the part of the spec block. Select is again other sub block. Match is the part of it. And match again is a kind of block. We are colon. And these are the value of the match level. Match level here. Okay. And by chance, because we have multiple value of match, this also first value, second and third. So we normally write in this way. So 3 matches we have. Again, this is a key value pair. In the YML code, we have a column as a key value pair. Okay, write a column over here. Okay, that's what. So this replica set created. Okay, and this is the name of the replica set. And they say I keep on matching these level. This is how I'm going to select or search. Select and search. Okay, let me run. This is how I'm going to select and search. If I don't find any, so technically you can think a replica set behind the scene is running this command the way I show you. So they're running the command L app equals to web1, comma DC equals to India, comma env equals to prod. They are searching in this way. That's what I told you in last L, right? There's multiple L, multiple select term. Actually env. Okay. So this is, I need this name, this name. If all the 3 name available, then show me. This only port we have all the levels. So this name. Okay. So this command we run manually. But what we are doing from this command, we are searching, we have hundreds of thousand port. We are searching or the L is selecting the port that has all the 3 level levels. Okay. Those show us because in one port, so they show to us. Same thing we are talking to replica set. Search all the 3 levels. Okay. If you found one port running, that's what my desire is. This is my desire state. This is a current state. This means nothing to do. But my desire is I'm the user. My desire 1. If you find 2 here by chance, then remove 1. But if I find 0 here, the current is 0, but we're looking for 1. It means we're looking for 1. There's nothing. So relaunch for us automatically. This is how you have to control automate launch for us. There's a meaning of this line replica. Okay. So this code is done. Let me remove this line. So let me run this code. So how to run this code? OC create F my name file first replica set. Enter. So they're creating the replica set behind the scene. They fail. And what they fail? This fail, there is no match kind replica set. And I told you guys every kind or resource type belong to one API. Here, the port belong to API called V1. Okay. Similarly, this replica set also belong to one API, and name of the API version they belongs to. By chance here they belong to app V1. This is the API name. What API? In my further discussion on admin track, especially 280 training, we have some discussion extra on it. But this is what we write. Okay, but you can think it's like a URL. This is a one kind of program come from this URL. This is one kind of other program come from this URL. Okay. So this is what the error was coming up, right? So when rerun this, now this time error change if you notice. Last time error was different, but now because of this line, now we know this is one of the URL running on my server. and they got this program name, they run this program. Okay, but here if you see there's one error come up. And the error say, okay, that we are going to select something, label, there is required values, some error is coming. Okay, most of the error maybe because of this syntax here, what I write here. Let me remove this syntax for a minute. Let me only write one single sorry, single match label. Okay, why? How to write more, we'll see in a minute. Let me go for one at least. Okay, but this one is more look like this, you know, where you search. Show me any a port that has this label. This one command, even though you can say the show labels command, I show you this command in my last class. This means any port who have this label, they might have more, does not matter, but at least they have this. This was. So we are selecting, this was selected. Same thing we are selecting here. Okay. So let me run my code again. This is where the error was coming. Again, guys, same error. Okay, why this error is coming? Because in this code, I don't have any template. What do I mean by this template? Okay, so guys, in the replica set, okay, we ask the replica controller keep on matching to this label. Means this port. Sorry, this port, or let me run the show hyphen labels command. Keep on matching with this, means keep on searching this. If it is not available, launch the port. But how to launch the port? How they know how to launch the port? Before launching the port, the minimum requirement is I want container name, image name, and to new container I have to give the label also, right? So they can start searching these labels. Okay, so technically, guys, in the replica set, we have to give one more keyword here, and the keyword is called template. Template for what? If what we are looking for, if this port is not there, so I should know how to launch it. So we have to give the information about that port. That's called metadata of this port. And now what is metadata? This metadata is more look like this. So let me copy from here. Okay, so metadata will be from here till here. Copy. Okay, and let me even though paste from here. Template meta data. So it's same kind. So same code. Instead of this part, we don't have to write. We're just copying till from here till here. Okay, let me again copy from here till here. Let me delete. So we have to give the template like this. Okay, let me reformat. So it should be go inside metadata. Same label also part of metadata. Proper indentation is required. And specifically the part of template, right? Same space. So we have no space, no space. So what space you give to metadata, same space go to spec also. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like this. Same number space you give. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is a part of the spec. Container simple. Why I'm doing this? Like I said, I will monitor the your one of the port with this level. Something like that. Select and watch. If this label is not there, then you ask me to have one copy. How I launch this copy? I should need template for this. Because one copy launch means one port launch. So I should know the new port name, what container they use, the image they use, and these new port also give the labels, right? Okay, label. And most of the label is the same label what you are searching for. Because you're searching for this label, same label port launch, then you come to know it's been launched. So then the one copy will be launched for you. Okay, that's what you guys write here. Okay, now let me run my code here. Last time is for failing. Okay, and when I run this code, perfectly they launch a replica set with this name. A replica set of this name has been launched. How I know? OC grade, not grade, get RS. This replica set has been launched. And what you will see here, our desire is one. We ask this replica set launch one copy. And what they found, one copy is there. For example, if you OC get ports, they say it is there. How? Because we see the label of this ports. Okay. What you are looking for, AppWeb1. Okay. So AppWeb1 is here. So what I am doing as a replica set, nothing. I'm not launching new because it's already there. But I'm waiting and watching this guy. But now, as soon as this port got deleted, OC port deleted, last time guys when I did, nothing happened. But now if it is deleted, I've deleted. Now if you see replica set quickly, again guys become one, right? I just run, because they run very quickly within less than a second. But if you run this replica set very, very quickly, you can see this number becomes 0. They say you're looking for 1, but I found one port deleted. That's what I'm watching. It's 0, but I will recreate for you. And they create very, very quickly. So that's where this number comes from. And now guys, if you notice here, this port I deleted, but now you'll see automatically this port will come up. See it? Automatically come up. Why this name? Okay, because they create the name by this order. Okay, they give the name to the name of your replica set. Okay, so they don't, next time if replica set launch the port, they don't use this name. They use the replica set name and then some random numbers, but they launch for you. Okay, even if you delete this guy also, OC delete port with this number. As you delete, automatic new created. Here you delete, here MXVN, they get a new one. They get a new one for you automatically. But what they created port, how they created, because we given this template. Okay, the port with this one and with the label also. So if you see here, show labels command, that has the same labels. Same level attached. And again, if you run the OC describe command also, in the port of this port, main port name does not matter. The main thing is in the port contained with from this image. Image is main, right? So this port is now launched from the same image. If you notice, okay, it's been launched from the same Tomcat image. But if you notice one thing, okay, who launched this port? Now this port is not launched by us. It has been by monitored and controlled by a replication controller as a replica set. Who's controlling this? Okay, how I know? So if you describe this port, you can see this port is running inside the container, but this port has been controlled by a replica set with this. They are watching this guy now. Now you don't have to worry about As soon as this port goes down, they recreate again from the same image. Got this replica set, know the template, how to relaunch. Even though if you go to OC, get replica set. And if you again describe this also, anybody, any resources we guys can describe. My web RS is a replica set name. You can see from here, this is how we created. Okay, you can see this replica set we created, and the duty of this replica set is keep on watching code with this level. With this level. And they found none of the port is available. So my desire is 1. So we launch 1 for them automatically. And they're done for us. So you can say port 1 is done. Okay. But they launch the port based on which template? This template. So you see here, they launch the port based on the container of this image and these levels. So there's a template of this guy. And if I also see here, the successfully launched two port, right? By record, because I did 2 times. So event, this is the event side. Because I did it 2 times, so 2 times they launched. Let me delete 1 more time. OC, delete port. So as soon as this port, SQXP deleted. Replication control, keep on watching this guy. The recreate new. So for the replication, replica set perspective, this is a new event they created. So if you run the describe command on the replica set, you can see R9 some name they recreated automatically. You don't have to worry about from the second ago. Okay, and if you run this, if you see this port again, this port is also been, this guy port is been managed by so this port launch is somewhere, there's a different point, but this port is been controlled and managed by replica set. Older version we use replication controller, but now we use replica set. How to work. Okay. So one of the duty of replica set is they keep on monitoring. Even just in the portal also, you can say one port is running. But if you delete the port from here also, I don't know why not coming. Let me refresh, but it will come. Yeah. Now, one more duty of the replica set is the scaling part. Now, only one is running. So, to scale, how we can scale? Pretty simple, right? To scale, I just go to my code and say, now I want 3 copy to bear or 5 copy to bear. So my design is 3. It means if you go to OC get RS, right now desire is 1, say the launch 1. So 1 port is running. But in my code, I write 3. So when I rerun, because this is a code we have created, right? So if we rerun this code, you will see this number become 3. So they launch 3 port for you. So 3 port you will see automatically. 3 port they run. So I changed my code. So how to rerun the code? So if you run OC create command with this file name called first RS, this field. Okay, why? The OC create command is the one who create a new replica set with this name. But they say a replica set is already available. Same name you can't create one more time. Then how can we create? So guys, when you create first time, you can use a create command. But in your main code, your source code, or your offline code, if you do any changes here, and you want to apply this change, not want to create a new, you want to apply this change, then instead of create command, you can use apply command. apply command. So apply command check. If this replica set is not created, they will create for you. So it also work like create command. But if it is already created, if you already created, then they change any changes you're done. If yes, they apply that changes. Okay. So there might be some kind of warning come up. Why this warning we might see in the future classes. Okay, because sometimes also we write some annotation also. What is this? We might discuss. But it's just a warning. You can neglect this. Main thing is this reconfigured. So if you run the OC RS command, last time it was one desire, but we asked to have 3 copy of it. And they say we launch 3 and all the 3 copies is ready. Is ready. Okay, it means automatically, okay, my pod will scale. This could scale out. Here, 3 copies they launched automatically, and all the 3 is being launched by a replica set. Even if you see OC describe of the replica set name my web RS, you will see they launch 2 more, because one replica 3 means total 3, not 3 more, total 3. 1 we already had, so 2 more they launched. That's what 2 more they launched. Okay, now we're looking for 3. They launched 3 ports from the same template. Means they have the same copy, same web server is running here. So if you're on the OC get pod -show labels, they launch 3 port, but all have same labels. Means same image also they have. They might be launched in different nodes, does not matter, but they are having same content running. They might be running in different nodes or slave worker node, does not matter. But they are the 3 different port they launch from the same image. Same app is running there. Okay. Now, interesting thing is, okay, due to any of the reason, if one of the port goes down, deleted, OC, deleted, port, that's one. Okay. If one of the port deleted, automatically new launched. So here, this launch GC deleted, then now launch 1 more. So here again 3. So I think Q5 was not the launch for us. Why? All this port has been monitored by RS, and RS say you ask for 3. I make sure I always keep on running 3 for you. That's all. They say to this. Why? Because this is what I write. And how I give this information? I give this information with the help of code. But we have command also for this. For if you want to change the replica number, we have a command for this purpose. Okay, so you don't have to always go to code and change in the code and apply. Okay, maybe this code is given by somebody else. Somebody already run this code. Now replicas are running. But in the future, who is managing your cluster, they want to increase the replica, they can do it. How? There's OC scale command. We can use this command. In the scale command, okay, here we give this keyword. Okay, let's say how many replica command we want. Let's say 5. Then we'll type a name. My type of resource is replica set. And name of my replica set is my web RS. Hey guys, no, instead of this way, you can use the slash also if you want. Now this is also the command we can use. Now this is scaled. Last time my replica set was 3, but now it's increased to 5. Out of 5, 4 is ready because they're launching right 1 by 1. Now you can see now complete 5 is ready. It means 5 ports is been totally launched. So we have directly this command also. Okay, and we apply this command directly on the cluster. My code is not updated because this is code we created. So this code with us, with this code we have, right? Okay. So with that, so my point here is, if you do trying to do some changes in the cluster, try to apply only one method, either do from code or from the command line, right? Otherwise, technically for actual cluster perspective, your replica is 5, but your code is saying it's called offline code is 3. So a lot of misconceptions happen. Maybe in the future, if you apply this code or you forget to update here, they again go back to 3. So always think either, because there are 3 different ways, okay, to interact with this cluster, WebUI, CLI, YAML. So 3 different ways. But whoever managing the cluster, try to use one way only. Otherwise, something might conflict. Conflict means CLI, you see we have 5 for replica, but command code that you created is offline code. You have 3. So if you rerun it by chance due to some reason, they again go back to 3. So whatever change you done from the command of WebUI will be reset, kind of thing. Okay. So there is one small thing is normally which fun some we face the issue, we see the issue in the real world, but don't do this. Means B, for learning perspective, you can use any other tools, interface, WebUI, CLI, or the code, YAML. But the real world perspective, stick with the one method and just keep on following the same method. Otherwise, things might conflict. Okay, this is one thing. But this code we created developer. Whenever you run, then only this code apply. But I told you either use the code or the web UI. Okay, whatever method you use. Okay, method you use. What method you use? Your code will go to the cluster in the YAML way. Means if you see this get RS, this is my replica set. Inside the cluster, your code is running in the YAML way. So you want to retrieve the code, you can use again same syntax OYAML. OYAML means I'm asking my cluster. I don't know how the user of a cluster use WebUI, CLI, or code. I don't know. Whatever your current information of the cluster, show me the detailed report in YAML way. So what they show you in the YAML way is this one. They say my replica set is running. Okay, this is the name of the replica set. Now you can see replica is 5. Okay, because this is what we've done. So they show you the real report is 5. Okay, and we are searching for this selectors, and they won't find any of this selector name. Then we have a template. We launch a new container by attaching this lab from this image. Okay, that's what you can see this command. Interesting thing is, okay, if you are running with the live cluster, working with live cluster, okay, and if you want to change something on the live code, now this is offline code. If you change something here, nothing gonna happen. Same, nothing gonna happen. If I say 6, my replica set is still 5. Offline code. When you apply this code, then only they work. But okay, this is the replica set you have. If you want to retrieve the live code of this replica set and actually apply some setting on it, okay, then we have option called edit option. This will retrieve the live code of YAML from the cluster in the edit mode. Okay, means when I hit enter, you will see your code will automatically open one of your text editor. Like in Windows, text editor is Notepad. Like in Linux, they might open VI mode, VI command. If you know VI command in Linux, and they show the live status of the cluster. An interesting thing is now if you change something, let's say 5 to 7, this live code come up. Very interesting. This concept is live code come up as soon as type and do save, Control S. That's all. Just save. Okay. Whatever change you done is applied on the cluster. automatically. So if I open my new terminal here and it's OC get RS, okay, you can see 5, I guess. Normally guys, control S is not working here, but it again depends on your browser of your text editor also. Like if I run this command in my Linux system as a command, as a client OC command. Okay, there I save, as soon as save thing will change. But here, after save, let me close this. Now if I let me run this, now see it's been changed automatically. 5 is ready, they keep on adding more. 5, now they're already 6, they keep on adding more. 7 codes they launch. So this is like an online way of writing the code. So edit is very interesting option, because in the command line we can't do much, all the options, right? And writing a code by yourself maybe require some time. So what can we do? We launch some code and applica set and use the edit command. Entire code will come to us as a live code. What a change you want to do in security, other facility, whatever they have, and do control as and save, automatically apply on the cluster. Right now there is no change. Last time it was edited, but no change made. These are mostly also known as configuration file for this replica set. OC get RS. So every resource type and the name, every name has its own personal configuration files. This have different, this are different, deployment is different, service is different, route has different, replica set is different, port is different. Everyone has their own personal online configuration file. If you go edit mode, as soon as save and change and close the file, they apply dynamically. It's also one cool feature. Not here, in all the resources and the resource name, they have the personal online configuration files. Okay, but guys, this is all about a replica set. Okay, here you can give more labels also. Okay, let me give 2 more labels here while matching. Let's say DC India also. Okay, so it's like an AND operation. We'll talk more about the levels. There's more way to search. Okay, but they're different here. Don't be confused. Okay, this is for searching. This is for creation. I'm searching food that has this level. Okay, and this new line means all are AND. If any one port, if you have all 3 available, then this port is running. And I need 6 port of this. If I don't find any, like say, if I find only 4 port that has these levels, I don't find only total 4, but I need 6. I launch it with this image. But next time when I launch, I will attach the levels. Why attach? If you don't attach this level, so again your replica set will think is not there. So if they keep on running the loop, it will be infinite loop. So whichever level you're matching, it should be attached to new ports. Okay, that's what important point is. Let me save this file. As you can change something, OC, apply this file. Let me apply this. Okay, there's some error come up. Why? Because guys, whenever you change in the code, where the code is, I close the code. Okay, if you change the code, not everything can be changeable. This name can be changed, but this we can't change. So not every property can be changeable. You know, I told you in the port classes, I showed you in last classes, if you change something in the some attribute of port, they don't allow you after we launch the port. Similarly, okay, after replica set created, Okay, we can't change every property. Okay, we can change the replica name. We might change some image name, maybe version, maybe, but we can't change this level. This is all depend upon property. Sorry, resource type to resource type. Here, this name we change is not allowed. Invalid. You can't change. It's immutable. Immutable means you can't change. So this plan you have to do properly initially. So what I'm going to do right now, I have the replica set. Okay, so OC, I'm going to delete my replica set. Okay, even though guys, if you want to delete a port, you can't delete. There's 7 ports running. If you delete one port, automatically they start. But you want to delete the ports, then delete the replica set. As soon as the replica set deleted, your port also been deleted. The port is controlled by replica set. As the replica set deleted, your ports also been deleted. See here, no ports. We are having here. Okay, so this is one point. And now, yeah. So this is what new plan we have done. Why deleted? So they can create a new. My first replica set. Now this replica set created, and these guys say, okay, I'm watching for the ports of this level. For 6.1, I don't have 6, I launch 6 by this name here. 6 the launch. And if you see OC happen so labels, they launch with this name. See here, they launch with this name. And what a name they launch, that's what we write in the code. I'm monitoring on those names, right? So it's not like this, they always be same, right? But mostly what a label you give, same label you search, right? For example, if I type my name at database Vimal, right? So what a name you write in my database Vimal, same name you will search, right? But obvious. So this is how you create and this is how you search. Okay. But having proper plan is very important. If you give some other port also, let's say database port, same name. So they thought it is running. So they won't launch for you. So naming is very important. Labeling is very important. I told you in my last class also. Okay. And not in replica set, other resource also we keep on using labels again and again. Okay. So your controllers or this keyword will manage everything in Kubernetes and OpenShift based on labels. So planning labels properly is very important. Second thing is, okay, don't give 2 different kind of apps or ports, like one is database, one is app server, as same labels. Otherwise they confuse and a lot of issues you will face. You thought you want 6, but only 2 might they launch. Other thing they might use database 1 or other kind of ports and programs. Okay, that's what I'm talking about here. So lots of guys information I given you in today's class. One interesting thing I want to tell you. Okay, the entire topic what I discussed to you, it is not the part of your training. Neither 280, neither 180, now 188, 280, 288. Okay, I think almost everyone is a part of the official training. If you go around your books, you will never find this topic. Okay, or this level of code in this level of detailed discussion. I given you as an extra class or bonus class. Why? Because if you have this level of internal understanding or deep understanding, okay, then understanding the remaining topic or any advanced topic look very simple to, and lots of proper planning and management you guys can do on the OpenShift world. Okay. So I take this topic as an extra bonus class for you, but it is, for me, it is very critical class. Without knowing this topic, I don't know why they don't have this topic in your book in Reddit program. But without knowing this topic, you can't do much more customization in this world of container platform like OpenShift or maybe Kubernetes. Okay, so this is one point I also want to add. So that's all, guys, from my side. Same, one more last thing, very simple. If you want to change the scale, so I can say scale replicas, let's say to 2 from the replica set known as my web rs. This is called scale in. I don't need 6 now, I can change to 2. So there's multiple way to change. Either you can use a command line or come to this offline code, save and apply, or go edit command, just get the online code, apply there, save and change. There's a multiple way to interact with the OpenShift cluster, or maybe Kubernetes also. Okay. So that's all, guys, from my side. See you tomorrow in more detailed discussion and more topics in the future classes. Any questions if you have, you guys can ask me. Omkar or Helm will discuss in the future classes. Yes, Mohan, it means we don't need kind, right? So guys, if you're launching the pod with replica set, you don't need this pod file. Another pod kind also. If you only want to launch pod, then this is a file we need. But if you want pod is managed by replica set, then you don't need this file. What we discussed in the first day of the YML class, you need this file only. Kind is replica set, but replica set is going to manage the pod, then the template will define the information about this pod. Okay. Yes, a replica set and deployment is very different, Nilesh. So my tomorrow class will give you this answer to you. Okay. Again, there's also myth. The deployment is who is managing the replica and watching the pod for you. It is not. Deployment is one big name, big service. Under deployment, multiple sub-services come up. One service called replica set, the deployment used behind the scene. So my point is, Nilesh, we'll talk tomorrow the actual difference between replica set and the deployment, and that you know, and there you know what exactly the use of deployment. Yes, Fagun, OpenShift support auto scaling also. Today we see scaling and scale out. How? Manually. But how to do auto scaling? Automatically based on some decision metrics, they scale the pod. Okay, we see in the upcoming classes. Thank you, sir. Great session. Thank you, Amol. Yes, Santosh, you can do. So guys, when we launch the replica first time, that time also you can set it 6.5. Initially, you can set some numbers. So as soon as launch replica set, almost 6 pod or 10 pod will launch automatically for you. Sanjay, I'm not discussing here the difference of replication control replica set. If you want to know, in my CKD training, there's a Kubernetes official training. There I have detailed discussion on controller, a lot of demos, replica set, a lot of demos. Okay, so I recommend if you want to go more deep into this topic and many other topics also at the deep level, inside level topic, then I recommend go for CK and CKD classes from my basis, because I took again a lot of topic extra there to talk about the internals of it. Okay. But yeah, a replica set is a new way of managing this. Okay. It's possible to get good bootcamp practice course on CK. Yes, Deepak, in the training of CK, CKD, I have the entire training of every topic with practical, a lot of use cases, a lot of projects live we have created there, plus a lot of integrations, plus CKD exam practice questions also there, interview questions set also there. Almost everything is possible in CKD level training is there in our in this training of self-paced program of CK and CKD. What is match level? I explained you as for already this concept in detail. Okay, so replica set is matching this level of the ports, of the running ports. In this running ports, They match this level, and this is how they search it. By using this label, they're searching. Okay, and what is searching is not there. Then they launch the port. So this level will come up, or this port will come up, right? No, Suraj, there is no as such limit. Okay, there is no as such limit of replica. You can launch as much as you can, but its limit come from the resources, how much RAM CPU you have, network bandwidth you have, and something like this, right? Because every replica is like one port contain one programmer container. So you need resources, right? So that has a limit. Otherwise, you can launch as much as you want. Siva, OpenShift use RS, a replica set. Okay, not the replication controller. Even if you say OC, get RC is for replication controller. There's no RC we have. Or maybe we can add replication controllers. No resource found. This keyword we have because come from Kubernetes, but we are not using, OpenShift is not using a replication controller. We can use if you want, but there has some small limitation. Okay, the replica set does not has, so we always use RS. Otherwise, concept-wise are same. Okay, but more facility they have in RS replica set. So answer is yes, we use replica set here. Okay. So actually, horizontal scaling means if you have one laptop, for example, if you add one more laptop, if you add one more laptop, you add one more laptop to do some practice and demos. Okay, this is called horizontal scaling. If you're adding more computers, more laptops means more RAM and CPU. By adding multiple desktop, computer, server, instances, VM, ports, container, it could be anything. This is called horizontal. But you have one single laptop, let's say you have 8 GB RAM or 2 CPU, you increase your RAM to 16 GB, then 32 GB. In one laptop, if you're increasing your resources like RAM and CPU, this is called vertical scaling. Vertically wise, you are increasing the things. Okay. No, Santosh, CK and CKD is not prerequisite for this course. Okay, I told you this course I'm taking everything from very zero. But I'm talking about if you're interested to know more about Kubernetes or deep understanding of Kubernetes for external learning, okay, then you guys can go for CK and CKD training. How to check YAML syntax? Kumar, as we run our code, if the syntax is there, they will give the fail. Okay, they will give the fail. They say YAML code is not right. So automatically they do the syntax checking for you. Otherwise, there are a lot of online tool available. Put the code there. They check the syntax for YAML code. Okay. By the way, when you run the code, automatically they give the error. The code syntax is there. Okay. So thanks for spending your valuable time, sir. Thank you, Raghu, very much. So that's all, guys. From my side, we had done detailed discussion again today. Very important topic. Practice this. I'll share the code to you in your respective Google Drive. Practice and see you tomorrow with some more detailed discussion on this training. Okay. So that's all. Take care, guys. See you. Bye.